Hi YouTube, hi TikTok. What's everyone going on? All right, so today I have no more medieval cats to work on. They're all finished. I still have a little bit of work to do with the photos and stuff before I put them up though. So took some photos yesterday, but I have to edit them. So I'm starting work on my commissions. So we're sculpting a Stella sea lion head. This is quite a big one. And I think I'll get this done. So if I do get it done, I'll make a start on the demo guys. So we'll see. It's looking pretty good so far. So a little bit of sculpting work. Now I have to add a little bit here, I think. Up these bits here. And then, all right, so add a little bit here. Not too much. So I'm using Sculpting Original to sculpt this head. It's on top of a foil armature, which I made just out of tin foil, aluminium foil, whatever you like to call it. And it basically acts as like a skull, if that makes sense. So you're not using a ton of polymer clay, although this one's taken a whole block so far. It's because it's going to be a big doll. So I've made the foil armature quite big in itself, just so I'm not using too much clay because then it gets too heavy. All right, so now it's super windy here, which is a bit annoying. It is a medieval cat. It's one of them, one of the three. So they each have like a little prop. Thank you. This one's probably the most out there one in terms of design, but yeah, I'll definitely be doing some more in the future. I enjoyed doing them. Just being a bit silly. Making some silly dolls. So where are we going? So I'm just building up this area around the nose so it's not such a heavily pronounced nose because they're not meant to be. So just sort of blending it in a little bit. So I've got some reference photos up on my computer. It's kind of what I keep looking at to make sure I've got everything looking good. Add a little bit more up here and just blend it in. So I like to work with soft clay. So this one is Sculpting Original. And I just like to push the clay around, really, is the reason why. Whereas some of the other clays are a bit hard to work with. They're not as malleable, I should say. So just blend it in. My favourite clay to work with is monster clay, but it's a wax-based clay, so it doesn't go hard. So you can't really use it to make sculptures, that lasting sculptures, I should say. All right. Now, I think I've got these dimensions right. So it's going to be a big doll, this one, nice and chunky. Let's see. So I've got some reference pictures up on my computer. I'm probably going to leave this like a shelf because if I add that bit more extra clay, it puts weight on it, and so I can sort of butt the fabric up to that, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to do like a happy medium between the weight and, you know, what I sculpt. So yeah, all right, I think we're looking all right here. Now the eyes. Eyes are a tricky one. So I have a big ball tool, if I can find it. Here it is. Alright, just going to use a reference for where I want these to go. Give me a second. So, yeah. Yeah. There and there. And then up higher. So about here. There and there. Do we think? Too far back. Yeah. Yeah. About that, I reckon. Now their heads are their eyes kind of sit on the side, so I think it's about here what we want. About there. Hey Marco, how are you? Moko? It's every time. Thanks for the likes. Alright, so I think I could to about here. I think I would about here. All right, I reckon about there. So what I'm going to do is, hey, thanks for the follow. I'm going to make some eyelids, or sorry, eye sockets, I should say. How's the work going? Good. I finished the medieval cats, so taken some photos yesterday. I've got to edit them and all that stuff. And then I'll put them in my shop next week, I'm hoping. So now we're doing some work on the commissions. So a bit of sculpting to get done. But yeah, you know, we're sculpting a stellar sea lion, which shouldn't take too much longer. And yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one to sculpt. And then I've got to sculpt the demiguise too. So Now we put these little eye sockets in, so that way I can make sure they're sitting like up a little bit. So I've got my glass cabochon eyes, which I painted up. They've got like a tiny bit of brown towards the end here. And yeah, I'm just going to pop them on here and make sure they're sitting in the right spot. And that they're sort of sitting symmetrically. So I think that's looking pretty good so far. So I need to build up the edges a bit. I'm just going to check on my reference. I think that's about right. Okay. Now, all right. That's looking good. Cool. I'll have to condition a little bit more clay. It's not always that exciting. Thank you. Thanks for the follows. All right, so I'm going to start off with the eyelids first. Thanks for the follows, guys. Don't know if I just said that. All right, so I'm just rolling out a piece of clay, little snaky clay. I like to point the ends a little bit. It's easier to create like a little corner of the eye. All right, TikTok, give me 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now, not sure which sort of expression I want it to have. So I'm going to get my little loop tool here, and I'm just going to do a really quick preliminary. I don't even know what a tear duct, I guess the word I'm looking for. Just a quick little tear duct, nothing special. What do you use for the legs and arms? The white thing, the armature. It's a ball and socket armature. So this is my largest size. Yeah, it's called a ball and socket armature. So as you can see, this silly cat. And it comes in, I have 3 sizes available. So I've got large, medium, and this tiny one. So this kitty cat has the tiny one in it, and this sea lion is going to have the big one in it, just because of all the weight and everything. But yeah, I have 3 sizes, but you do need the pliers to pull them apart, because they're a bit tricky. All right, so I'm not sure with the expression that I'm going for here, whether I'm going to do it wide-eyed or a bit sleepy. So thanks for the follow. The other side. Now we want it pointing up a little bit. And then, so this is literally just the eyelid, this bit. So not the brow section. So this one I'm going to flatten out a little bit. So probably just play around with just moving the eyes around a little bit. I'm just going to put this here so it's got something to sit on. Drop it off. Now, I'm going to squish it down because we want the eyes to be a little bit bulgy. And I'll probably end up putting a little bit more here just to cover that little eyelid got going on here. Squish this down a bit more. This is, yeah, literally just the eyelid, not any of the brow lines or anything. So we'll need to just play around with it a little bit. So you can see the difference. I don't really like this look in particular. Hey Marmalade Moth, this is a Stella sea lion. It's a commission piece. So the person who bought my leopard seal wanted to do a sea lion to go with it. So leopard seal is still here until I finish this one. And then it's going off to China, which I've never sent a doll to China before. So that's exciting. All right, let me look at some reference images. And see what kind of look I want to go for. I want it to have a little bit of an attitude, I think. Whoa. I could do sort of like a sleepy version, or I can do like a not so sleepy version. So this is going to be a male. So the males are quite chunky and they've got really big heads. So I guess I could do just like this a little bit lower and up. If that makes sense. That makes it a bit more sleepy. But we want them to be a bit bulgy too. So it needs to conform to the shape of the eye. And it's not really any good reference images, to be honest. They're not great. So even if you get like a close-up of the head, it's not great. Sea lion head. Don't know, what do we reckon? So this one looks a bit too angry. Or we can do it. So if we pull this middle bit up, it makes the look a bit softer. So it's really, there's like a fine line between making the look in their eyes just look vacant and giving it some personality. So that's why I always take a little bit of time just to play around with the eyelids to sort of see a character come to life, basically. So So I think that looks kind of sweet. What's my YouTube? Sorry, guys. Cute. Yeah, so I think that sort of look is kind of sweet. I think. There. So I need to build up this whole area here. I'm trying not to use too much clay on this because it just adds to the weight. So that's why the head's sort of cut off here, because I'm going to add the fabric sort of along there. So it covers the whole head. So I'm trying to keep the weight down on this one as much as I can. All right, the next one. Now with the next eye, I have to try and keep the eyes in the same sort of direction. So cut that off there. Make sure we're doing the same thing, same expression. So the way I used to do eyelids was very different than this. So I'm doing way more realistic eyelids now. And it really makes a difference. But because I was doing a lot more fantasy stuff, it doesn't really matter all that much how I was doing it, because I used to do long black tufts on it. So you can see how this eye here looks a bit more cross, I guess, because the direction is going down. So we're not going for a cross look, an angry look here. So I'm going to squeeze that down to make the eyelid a bit thinner. And then it sort of starts blending into the top. Now, so if you want to do like a sweeter look, you lift that sort of the top corner, and it gives it more of a docile sort of look to it. I don't know how well you can tell on there, but we're not looking for it completely docile. It's a big chunky male one. Don't want that. All right. So if I'm like roughly happy with the way it's looking, generally I'll leave it and come back to it once I've put the rest of the detailing on the head, but we're still sort of just sketching out where everything is going. So I'm not going to waste too much time doing the eyes. So you can see a little bit the eyelids. There we go. So far. So I'm just going to blend these out here just to get prepared for the next step, which is like the brow line. And these eyes tend to have a little bit of detail in them as well, wrinkling and stuff. So they've got quite a pronounced brow line there. So I'm going to have to put some more clay. This is my last block out of that big box. The box has, how many blocks does it have? I think 12 blocks in it. So plowed through that pretty quickly. So alternatively, you can use a pasta roller to condition the clay, but this one's really soft, so it doesn't take much to just go over it. So I'm wondering if I should make these nostrils a bit more closed. We can play around with it in a minute once it's all here. Put together. All right. What manner of creature is that? Well, this one, it is a medieval cat. One of the 3 so far, but it is a good question. All right. Okay, so I've got, I don't think I need to do too much more. I won't have to use this whole block, but this is a whole block so far. A block is something this big, but a little bit more. Why is it blue? The cat, the medieval cat. Some of the medieval cats are blue, so I wanted to do a blue one, I guess. I did a white and ginger one, the blue one, and like a tabby sort of coloured one. Have you mixed different brands of clay together? Yeah, I haven't really had a problem before. I've also mixed like paints together, like clay and like a little bit of paint just to like get a custom sort of colour. But the problem with paint, if you add too much, it's just acrylic, water-based acrylic paint. If you add too much, it starts to get a bit sticky. So yeah, just test it out on a little bit of clay. So the tongue is actually a custom colour that I did with Super Sculpting, which is like a beige colour, and just a little bit of red paint. I did add too much red paint and it went sticky, so I had to sort of try it again. But I only did like a small piece, so it wasn't that catastrophic. But I like working with Primo's okay. It's not bad. And I've also mixed Cos Clay with Sculpey as well, Super Sculpey, which that's totally fine. I do that in a pasta roller because it's super hard to condition. And I hate conditioning things, so pasta roller. So when I sculpt the demiguise, when I use my pasta roller, because it's too hard. All right, give me a second, TikTok. I'm going to quickly do a video. I'm trying to do like videos, progress videos, so I can post it online, make a little progress video. Okay, sorry, TikTok. Sorry, the back. All right, now brow line. So brow line, I like to roll out like a big sausage. I'll lower this a little bit so you can see. So I might even change the way that's going. You just have to put it all together and see. You can make some finishing touches. All right, so I like to roll out a big piece, big chunky piece. I sort of like to pinch the end on it to make a bit more of a, get my reference images actually up. So I've got reference images up on Photoshop to make sure I'm doing it right. So we need a little bit in here. Sort of push it in. Right. Now with these eyes, they have, they're quite bulgy. So we need to maintain this bulge that's here on the edge. So once I blend this in, I can sort of push it around a little bit. But we're going to do this. Now I might get my other reference up. This one's quite good reference. They've got this bit on their head that's really bulgy too. Hello, I'm the only one here. No, there's more people in here. I don't know what goes on with the numbers in the room, because sometimes it says there's no one there and there's people there, but now you're saying no one's there, but I do have people in here. I don't know. Anyway, I'm making an art doll. That's TikTok for you. I'm doing a commission piece for a a customer of a Stellar sea lion. So I've got 2 commission pieces on at the moment. So we're sculpting the parts for it. And yeah, I never believe what TikTok is. TikTok count. Right, so we want to push, it's more pronounced at the front here. So we want this clay to go at the front rather than at the back. So I'm going to push it up here. Right. I don't think they're too pronounced, but yeah. Okay. Now, let's see what that looks like. Yes, that's the one, Bonkle. Stellar sea lion. Finally getting to those commissions. It's going to be a big doll. So I'm doing kind of like a half a head, and then the rest I'm going to do with the fabric, and then I'll do like a separate piece for the ears, which I'll put on, by themselves on the fabric itself. So I'm not quite sure what sort of look I want to have in its eyes, so I'll play around with it. So this lower piece has to actually come down a little bit because it wasn't looking quite right. That's better. There's all these like little fine details that you have to change. See, it's looking too much like a dog eye, which is not, even though they're like sea puppies, but that's not what we want. That's better. So I'll bring this side down too. Okay. So that's a little bit better. Thanks for the likes. All right, so now I've got to add a little bit more definition under the eyes here. So again, I'll get some clay. Oh, thanks for follow. And we're basically doing a, will it be big as a leopard seal? Yeah, the guy that bought the leopard seal, he commissioned this. So he wanted it, the same size. Curious as to what clay. This is Super Sculpey. Sculpey Original. So it's just the white Sculpey. It's quite soft, just because I like working with soft clays. But yeah, so this one I normally use Sculpey Original. But yeah, I also use Cos Clay and hang on, I got a message. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Just got a message. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of, I don't think too much, a little bit under here. So blend it up. Sorry, I got a message. Sorry guys, got a message. Anyway, so we're gonna just do these. Still the sea lions as big? No, they're bigger actually. And the guy wanted the commissioner wanted a male one, so they're like super huge. They're big boys. They're huge heads. All right, so we need a little bit of puffiness under here, so I'm just going to mark out that. And blend it down to the rest of the head. Okay, so you can see YouTube to build up the puffiness of that side compared to that side. So this side still needs a piece under there, and this one's got like a little bit of a lid, which that will need more refining, but we're getting there. So for this one, this is a tricky doll to make, I think, because half of its body, it's got kind of like a mane, so it's really sort of fluffy. I think it's their winter coat though. So the neck area is really thick and fluffy, and the rest of the body is obviously seal-like, so it's not very fluffy at all. So I've got to do sort of like a combination of the two fabrics. So I've got some faux fur that looks really good as a mane, or the neck fur I should say, and I've got some minky fabric for the rest of the body, so the same as the leopard seal, and then I'm going to airbrush that to match, because their fins are a little bit, they're quite dark, so there's a lot of brown variation in these sea lions. All right. So it's looking good. Big head. I'm going to get my other reference pictures up. Sorry guys, I have a message. Okay. Now, so sometimes we just have to, when you look at a different reference image, sometimes it's not quite right either. So it's just a little bit too pronounced, I think. It's very windy today. I hate really, really windy weather. Makes you frazzled. Probably have to add a bit more to the top of the head here. Oh, hiccup. From the side, we need to add some here. So all right. Male elephant seal to scale. That would be crazy. That'd be a pretty cool one to make, actually, an elephant seal. So just going back. So I always look at different types of reference images too. So different angle, different poses, different animal. Because sometimes they all look a bit different. And yeah. All right, from the side, inside. I'm going to make it a bit more sleepy looking. And there's a lot of back and forth with doing these ones. Reference. So I think I'm not quite happy with the way these eyes are sitting. So I think what I'm going to do I need to be sitting in. So what I'm going to do is cut them off and transfer them. I don't like the way they're sitting. So here's a little tip. If you've sculpted something, cut it off, and then you can just re-situate them to where you want them to be. So instead of losing all that sculpting to start again, I'm just going to resituate it. Just didn't like where they were sitting. All right, so I actually think they need to go like this. A little bit. Too close. Sorry for the gruesomeness, but sometimes this is what we got to do. All right, let me just use my reference. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, where's my big, it's just a little bit too thick here, which is not what I want. Sometimes we're just going to go back and forth. Didn't think it was sitting right. Okay. Let's see. push it in a bit. So I've moved the whole eye, one of the eyes this way. And this one so deal. Okay, move it down. I think I like the open eye better, maybe. I do feel like it's a bit more open than that. I feel like I'm going to rip this whole thing apart and start again. Just don't like the way this is sitting. Not quite bulgy enough. Alright, so I'm going to redo these eyes because I don't like the way they're sitting. Sods, guys. But I'm just going to open it up a little bit. I'm going to leave all the rest of the stuff there, but I'm just going to redo the eyelids. Just don't like the way it's sitting. But I think they need to be pushed in a little bit. This is what happens sometimes. You're just not happy with it. So you just have to start again. All right. Yeah. Smooth all this out. Okay. Sitting a bit further up. That kitty looks so good. Thank you. Thanks, mate. These eyes are meant to be a little bit bulgy, so it wasn't really bulging as much as I wanted it to. So even though these ones are actually high domed, so I'm just sort of trying to smooth out all these sections so it's not so messy. Okay. Sorry, I had to reply to a message. All right. Now, what are we doing? you. So this cone on the head is throwing me off a little bit. Let's see. Is it too high? Sometimes there's just a lot of back and forth trying to get everything in the right spot. So it might not look like progress, but it is. It might look like I'm fumbling around, but I swear we're doing progress here. Right, I think that's a better spot. And you know what is throwing me off? These need to be tipped that way. That's it. Oh, hang on, guys. I've just got a phone call. Give me a second, guys. Oh, sorry guys, I just had a phone call. Very sorry. Anyway, we're back. Sorry guys. Okay, yeah. That was the problem all along. The eyes they needed to be lifted up, so the way we do that, so I just lift the backing up a little bit, and then just going to slot a little piece in here. That. This one too. So sometimes it's just the simplest of things that fixes the problem. Ah, perfect. That looks much better. There you go, YouTube. This is that tiny little thing that needed to be done. Happy with that. Okay. So sometimes you just need to sort of study it and fix the problem like that. I'm just going to fill in these little bits that are missing, some clay. All right. Now I'm actually going to build up the brow line a tiny bit first this time, just so I have something for the eyelids to sit on. I think I might try the wide-eyed look. So this is all part of the fun with sculpting. Changing your mind halfway through all the time. I'm just building up this brow line. You can build it up with little pieces like this too. You don't have to do a big snake like I do sometimes. All right. I'll have to build this bit up too because yeah. And sorry, I'm just checking my reference images. Perfect. Now, so the thing has a little bit of a dent in here, and then it's built up this brow bit here. It's hard to actually find some reference images with this big brow. And I'm just going to push this back a little bit. I think. All right, so brow here. I'm going to stick this on first. So I want to blend this here. Pushes down. So I'm trying to create that big forehead. It's like a helmet. Like a helmet. All right. It's quite flat too. So reference. Need a bit more. Drag this down a bit. A little bit more here. looking all right. So I'm just going to build up this little brow line just a tiny bit, not much, because it doesn't need a lot, I don't think. It's just, what else have we got? So the fabric's going to go here. So really, it's only all right, let's do the eyelids. So I guess we'll just do the wide-eyed look. And just rolling out my snake. Relatively thin, I think. Honestly, I thought I was going to finish this quicker than I have. Hey, thanks for the follow. It's appreciated. Okay, so little eyelids. Now the eyes are going to go up here. There, come down relatively low. Hey, pretty work, how are you? Oh, my card's full. No. All right, so we want to push this in as much as we can and make a little eyelid, which we're going to pull it down. What am I making? I am doing a Stella Sea Lion art doll. This is a commission piece. I just finished my 3 medieval cats, so I've got 2 commissions that I have to work on at the moment. So I'm just sculpting the parts for the 2 dolls. So far we're just doing the sea lion at the moment. And then actually thought I'd finish this a bit quicker, but you know, when you're not happy with the eyes, cut them off and try again. So I've got a little bit of a lid here. So I basically do fake taxidermy pieces normally. But I did a little bit of a silly couple of dolls and did some medieval cats because I've always wanted to. All right, so here we've got our eye. It's quite low, as opposed to that one that has nothing. So this lid has to sort of go up a little bit. So this is a silicone tool that I'm using. I'll do the finer details once it's all been put together. Alright. So I think it's looking alright. I have to push this in a little bit. Just making a waterline, the tear duct. All right, so next piece. Next piece sort of goes, so pinch that here and along there. But it has to go sort of pushed in a bit here. And then flatten it to blend it in. Middle bit goes up, this bit goes down. There, I think I'm happy with that. Now, I want a thin eyelid, and preferably not gouge the lower eyelid. That's better. So sometimes you just have to pull it all apart and start again, and then you'll be happy. All that work. And then, so if we look at this part here, don't know if you can see, there's a bit too much of a gap. So there needs to be a bit more of a brow here, and then it's a little bit more hollow at the back here. So I'm going to put just a small piece here, and I'm going to try and leave this bit hollow. Not hollow, but a bit of a dip in the back there. So we want like a blended line here. Sort of goes that way, like so, and then up. A little bit more, I think, just here. So it's all about just building on the structure. And I find animals that have like weird little divot things in spots that normally aren't there, they can be a little bit tricky, and then it's just like a fine line between finding the right positioning of things. All right, so that's sort of what we got on the not done side and the done side. So it's looking a bit more realistic on this side. There we go. One eye. So you can see you can see kind of the divot here that I'm talking about, where it's built up at the front here. So that's sort of what we're trying to achieve here. And sort of blend it in nicely there with the brow. We're getting there. All right, next one. Again, starting up here, there, and then bringing that down. shape. And then we do the top one. All right, let's flatten it out to get the eyelid. So sometimes with the eyes, they can be a little bit tricky too because the back of it sort of bends around. Oops. So it's a little bit tricky to get that bending. But I think it looks all right. Let's blend it to the rest of the head. Now we need to get that divot as well. So I'm just going to push that up. Can you get a close-up of that glorious cat? Sure. Here we go. The lighting's not great, but we have its back. But we're opposable as well. Hooray! But yes, he is quite glorious, isn't he? The tongue really makes it, I think. Yes, very cute. He is majestic, isn't he? Unintentionally. Majestic awkward. All right, so again, do a little bit of bulking up here. Thanks for the likes. And then, let's see, a bit more here. And then I think just a tiny bit here. All right. Now, that's looking all right. I'm just checking. What am I making? I'm doing the Stella Sea Lion commission, so I'm just sculpting the headpiece. Tempting, I should say. No, it's alright. We are doing it. A little bit of back and forth. It's such a chunky doll, so I'm trying to get the dimensions right. But it's, yeah, super chunky. Hey, Michelle. How are you going? Nice. Yes, I'm finally getting some work on the commissions done. Finished the medieval cats. So that's exciting. Let's have a look. So the fabric's going to go there. I reckon we need it's looking alright. I'm trying not to add too much clay to the head because again it's super weighty. So I might even just remove this section here because it's going to be covered in fabric anyway, so I don't reckon I need this bit here. It's such a big doll. Such a big head, I should say. It's got quite a chunky lower jaw bit, which I'm going to take this bit off here. I might even take this off. Just see how this looks. Don't want unnecessary weight there. Reference. Still not liking where these eyes are. I feel like they're too far out, which is really annoying. They need to be here. I'm gonna have to cut them off again. It's not sitting where I want it to sit. I want them in. It's sitting too high and too out. So kind of cut them off and replace them again. I'm just not happy with that where it is. So cut it off. Now they need to go. Bear with me for a second. They need to go here. Possibly. I think that's a bit better. Right, I think that's better. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, so much back and forth. So I'm just going to blend this out now. I think I'm happy with that. Sometimes when I've sculpted something and I come back to it the next day, I do the same thing. Just pull it apart and replace it. All right. There. We're happier with that one, I think. No, that's fine. Yes. All right, what I might do is do another, just a quick eyelid again, because it's gone a bit flat with all that washing around. Okay. All right. I think we're back on track now. I think. Don't jinx it. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more. To this brow, I think. It's funny, I feel like I had the same back and forth with the leopard seal as well. Thanks for the likes. I reckon I had the same back and forth. Like I cut off the eyes and did that again as well because I wasn't happy. Yeah. Okay, just trying to push that bottom in a tiny, tiny bit. Blend. Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's pretty quick. It just depends what you're sculpting. Like something that you've never sculpted before as well. Sometimes it just takes some time to get familiar with what the sculpt, I should say. Don't want to add too much here because it's supposed to be bulgy. Just a little bit. I think it's looking pretty good. We're getting there. It's making progress. thank you for the follow. Let's build this up a tiny bit. How long have I been sculpting? And I've been sculpting since I was a kid. I used to do a lot of dragons when I was a kid. And then I've been doing this for about 13 years now, so a while. But yeah, this year I'm just sort of trying to sculpt things that I don't normally sculpt or haven't before, so it takes a bit longer because we don't know what we're doing. We're learning the face. Usually when I've sculpted something the second time, it's like much quicker because I've learned what needs to be done. So yeah, a while. This is such a big head too, big bulky head. Big chunker. Oh, thank you. And sometimes it takes a while to get a little look in the eyes that I actually like. Sometimes it just doesn't work. So I don't know if you could tell, but the eyes are like slightly different. This one's a little bit more angry looking. This one's a little bit softer. So then you got to figure out what exactly you need to change in it if you can't see it obviously. Which I think it's just this round bit here. Is that another seal? It's the Stellar Sea Lion that the person commissioned. So this one's a big chunky boy. I've chopped the eyes off twice because I didn't like where they were, so I had to do a bit of repositioning. But I think that's good. I guess the good thing is I don't have to be too precise about like exact details. Obviously the positioning and everything, but normally because I'm covering it with fur, I just kind of need it as a form. So similar to what people that do taxidermy, where they use like a foam form and then they sculpt the bits that are going to be shown. It's pretty much what I'm doing, really. So I think that's looking good so far. YouTube. Sorry if I've missed anyone's comments. I think it's looking all right. Let me look at some. Sometimes I like to grab some reference images as well. So yeah, it's like that divot here. So at least I only have to sculpt one part for, not that I don't like sculpting, but it just means I can sort of get the doll done a bit quicker. I don't have to sculpt feet. Yeah, just gonna try and catch a glimpse of some eyes. See what I like. The eye goes down and then up pretty high. It's interesting how different like animals' eyes are with the positioning of them. So this has to go down. and then up. I'm just trying to see if I can find any off differences that need a little attention. It's looking all right. Possibly a little build up there. Man, ducks are, I've been attacked by geese before, so. Purebred. No, but that can be actually like pretty full on, those geese. I'm gonna need a little bit here. So I won't add to probably not much fur detail or anything like that because it's going to be covered anyway, which I'll probably do with the minky fabric. Something about this eye that I don't like, of course. They take offense to everything. They're crazy. They honestly are crazy. It like smacked me in the head. I was a kid too. I still remember it. I'm feeding the ducks, and it like came up behind me and just like whacked me on the head with its beak. They're insane. And the sheep. I've been ran by sheep before on a schooled excursion to a farm. Why? It took a run up and everything. True, I forget that. A child of innocence. Okay. Just trying to create like a little bit of a brow definition here. Just a little one. It's not such a stark, no detail. No problems. Have a good day. Okay. I think we'd be good. Hey, muscle toughness, how are you? This is a female one that I'm looking at, but I'm actually sculpting a male one, so they look a little bit different. I'm good, trying to get this sculpt done. I've cut the eyes off it twice and repositioned because we weren't happy, so I think we're on the right track here. This time. I reckon we're almost finished. Sculpt. I'm going to look for some areas that I can take the clay off because it's a heavy head and I want it to be a bit lighter than what it is. So I also need to start smoothing it out a little bit. And I think I just add like just some fine details around the eyes because obviously they're not going to be covered in fur. I'll probably come back to this tomorrow and be like, I hate it. Let's scrunch up and do it again. I think it's looking good. So you sort of got to, if you're using faux fur specifically, I normally sculpt things a bit thinner as well, so not as, chunky as what the final product is supposed to look like. Because when I add that faux fur, it sort of bulks it out a bit too much. So I try and do like a little bit thinner. Try and do a bit thinner. Now the nose has a funny one. It's got a bit of a crease here that blends in. It needs to have that detail crease, which I'm just doing with my silicone tool, and then that's got to be blended. Blend. And then this one, I'm just going to roll it so it blends nice and evenly. I do need to, I don't know whether to push this together a little bit to make closed nose or have it slightly open. I dead set thought I'd get this done really quick. And I'd actually make a start on the demo guys. But here we are, still finessing about everything. Alright. I think I'll leave it open. And then this is a little bit off on this side. Okay. Push. So I need to build this up a little bit, I think, on that side. Just a teeny bit. Okay. Just blend this with my needle tool. That's better. It's looking a bit what do you call it? Uneven is the word I'm looking for. Okay. Looking pretty good. All right, I reckon that's about much as I can get done for today. So, yeah, I'll finish this off tomorrow, I reckon. I reckon we would actually get it finished tomorrow. All I really need to do is just add the last of the detail work, which is not much, just around the eyes. So that's what we got so far. So the fur is going to come around here, I think. I'm going to do it here and try and bulk it out a little bit, if that makes sense. So I need to watch the weight on this one. YouTube, there we go. Stella's sea line. But yeah, I have to look for bits that I can take off so it's not so heavy, because you still have to add the armature and a little bit of epoxy sculpt, which obviously adds to the weight again. But yeah, anyway, so tomorrow I'll be on about 12:30 again till 2-ish. And yeah, anyway, YouTube, thanks for joining. I'll catch you later.